Yesterday, Dan called you a finisher online. People have described you as a bully when blocking. What is that like for you? What's that mentality like for you when you're out there blocking?
Definitely feel good to hear from Dan Lannon. Of course, looking back at the film, there's a lot of like plays I feel like I kind of took the cheap route to bully someone. So like going forward this week and the weeks coming up, I feel like it's something I got to work on. It's like clean finishes where I'm not just throwing someone, I'm actually like driving them to the ground.
Sure, a lot of offensive linemen play with that level of nastiness to some point, Alex. But where does that come from for you? Because like you can go back to some of the Texas State tape. Obviously, you had some of those finishes, but like when you chuck a guy on a run play behind the play by the shoulders, like one is how does that feel and where does that come from?
Definitely at schools prior, like I felt like I kind of just did my job and that wasn't cutting it for what the next level or what my coaches even like were noticing. So I felt like to throw someone on the ground or just to like pile someone up like is what's gonna catch like a non-footballer's eye. You know, I'm just trying to grab all the attention I can, honestly, to go to the next level.
How easy was it this offseason with a lot of new faces to build that camaraderie with your offensive linemen?
Um, it's definitely not easy at all. I feel like you go through trials and errors with each person. You got to figure out each person, who they are, and how they work, because the same formula doesn't work for each person, I would say.
Pretty common to see an offensive lineman pancake a guy, but what's the offensive line room thinking when they see the film of Decorian or Kenyon doing the same thing what you guys do?
It sets a standard for us because if they can do it, like definitely we need to be doing it because that's our only job. You know that they're part timers, we're full timers.
Go back to a few years ago, Alex. Just takes into the part of moving from tight end to tackle and just what went into that physically, mentally, like at that part of the stage and late in high school to do that and in junior college to do that.
So I mean, I've always been good at run blocking, you know, but like the pass pro is what really took me for a dance, I guess you could say. That was my most challenging part to transition. It was kick setting.
You guys do have a guy go down and then the guy next to you flipping from one side of the line to the other. How are you guys able to still maintain that communication and to keep Dante clean?
In spring ball and camp, I would say like we had like a set group of guys until like the end of camp. So like we've always interchanged everyone, switched everyone up left to right, and so I feel like there wasn't really like we skipped a beat. You know, we all had chemistry with everyone, so it was pretty natural for us.
Have you and Will talked at all about the old Hayes and Lake Travis days and just take me back to that senior year, man? Because like I say, like hearing about how you came on late and options really weren't there for you at that time. But have you talked to him about some of those games from back in the day?
Honestly, man, there's not much to talk about. You look at the scoreboard, it wasn't too great for us. So like I can't really say much to him except like if if I wasn't doing good, I was probably getting thrown out the game realistically. And I was just upset with the scoreboard and all that. So it kind of like, if anything, it helped me grow as a person, like not to tweak out if we're losing or not, you know.
There was a lot of anticipation going into your first game in Autzen. What was the experience like finally being able to play there with fans?
Mm, it was like we got like a little taste during the spring ball game, so it wasn't as big as a transition, especially coming from another Power Five prior. So, but it was definitely like an experience to be a part of. It was like there was I think it was going in the second quarter, and I'm just like we're on the sideline talking up right before we're about to go on the field as an offense, and I'm just like, you know, taking a good look around, and it's like it's really amazing what y'all got going on here.
When you left Colorado to go to Texas State, and you're basically going home at that point. What was going through your mind? Not so much going there, but like there's a lot of trust there to go back and play in a situation where, I mean, Shoemaker brings in all his guys, and when the goal is to get back here, when you know you're probably not going to get a great shot to do that at first, like when that's the goal and the intent, were you concerned that you may not be able to get here because of how things were shaking up at first?
Honestly, like it was just tough mentally to come down from the Power Five level at the time to the Sun Belt. That was my biggest struggle. I wasn't really concerned about who he was bringing in, because I know it was a new coaching staff and they were all bringing in someone, big transfer portal guys. But I honestly never thought I'd leave. I thought I'd finish out the year prior and then go to the league. But just like looking back at it, like I made the right decision to come here and then give another year and prove myself.
When you're facing an FCS team that doesn't necessarily have the same level of athletes in the trenches that you're going to face the rest of the season, how do you learn from that and apply that to when you are going to face those tougher tests later on this year?
Them being smaller than the guys that I usually face, like Mateo and Tatum, like it's the biggest thing was them having natural leverage and me trying to keep my pad level low. And if I didn't, like they would just get on my pads, and then I feel like I got pushed back too much. That was the biggest problem I had.
Back to James.
For Saturday, just what have you seen from 95 on tape from this past game in particular?
Are you talking about
For Oklahoma State?
Yeah. Big power guy. I mean, they're big guys, I believe 95 is 340, and we're just gonna have to get low and then work on our combos to take them to the linebacker. That's really what it is.